I think dupe culture is ruining our lives. What do I mean by dupe culture? I mean, if you take a look around and you start to see the design of our everyday objects, logos, vehicles, our clothing, even our faces, everything's starting to look the same, non distinct, like these big blobs of colors, and everything kind of feels shapeless. Everything is kind of missing details. It's not just missing details, everything's starting to look like replicas. Everything's starting to look like mirror images of each other. Looking at cars the other day, and some of the electric cars were really hard to tell apart from one another. Unless you were looking at the emblem on the back of the cars, I really couldn't tell which was which. Remember Mozilla Firefox? Remember they used to have the fox wrapped around the globe, and now it just looked like a big orange shapeless blob wrapped around another blue blob. You can see this everywhere. And it's kind of leading all of us to become intellectually lazy because there's no push for innovation, because you could just copy the models of another company. Losing our ability to strive for innovation, we are losing the creative process. Once they started to take out the art from the schools, I I believe that was a symptom of a bigger issue down the road, because you're not really inspiring kids to say, "Hey, create something. It doesn't matter if it looks good or not, just create something from your imagination." And because we're not really creating anything original, we're just copying all the time. That's going to lead to a lack of innovation, and you won't be at the forefront of anything if you continue to just copy. Remember when McDonald's used to be colorful and fun and you kind of wanted to go in? Wendy's used to look pretty inviting. Those are just few examples, but if you go outside and you look at new architecture being built, everything looks gray and soulless. There's nothing visually interesting about any of the new buildings that we are building. And even when you go inside these new built buildings and even homes, there's nothing that is very interesting about the homes. Everything is being built for functionality primarily. When you build a home, you definitely want it to be functional. But if you look at the older homes, like the home that I grew up in, there's a lot of intricate details inside these homes. By our window, we have these two shelves, and then it's kind of like a bench in between, connecting these two cabinets. Yeah, they're cabinets. And then there's a window in the middle. I'm not sure what that was used for, but things like that add personality to a house. And it's functional because there's drawers up under this seat. You can sit on top of the bench. You can decorate it however you want. And then you have two storage units on the side. Once you're looking around at these kind of soulless concrete structures that offer nothing but a place for you to go to use and then leave, you kind of think, well, is that the reflection of how we are feeling about ourselves? When you go into these buildings and you go into these homes, it's almost like it's kind of single use. It's something to kind of throw away, or we're treating it as something that doesn't even matter that much, because now we're just using a building as a building instead of a point for inspiration, something to look forward to, something to derive some kind of meaning from. But it is kind of disappointing when you go into a new building and you don't really have much to look at. What I'm starting to see is what happens when we look around and we lose that inspiration that we should get from the architecture, the arts, and our buildings and our homes around us. you start to feel disappointed. You start to feel negatively. And because you start to feel negatively, where would you turn your attention to? The internet, our online, our devices. Think about it. Your phone is one of the most colorful, vibrant places that you can visit anytime that you want. Think about this. Your phone has now become the new inspiration. It has taken away from you that creative spark, or it continues to dim that spark. So you constantly going online on the internet looking for the inspiration, looking for what we are missing in our everyday lives. You used to just go down the street and kind of be inspired by the colors and the vibrancy around you, and now we're losing that. It's sad that those old buildings that I look at, like I love going into our city hall because it has all the old architecture, it has all the old design. There's paintings on the ceilings, the crown molding covered in gold flakes, the marble that's still inside these old buildings is so beautiful to look at. We couldn't fathom building anything like that today. I mean, I guess the materials and everything's cheaper, but we couldn't fathom building anything like that today. I don't even know if we could reach inside ourselves collectively to build something that beautiful. So going back to my point about how the internet has become our fake source of inspiration, you could just pick up your phone, get online, and you can see images upon images upon images of nothing but color and vibrancy. You see it in others' lives when we watch YouTube. Think about what you go online for now. You're going online to get hits of emotions. You're going online to get hits of dopamine. I was on my phone the other day and I felt like a monkey because I just kept compulsively checking my emails, even though I know nothing was new in there. Obviously, we all know they created these devices to keep you on it all the time, and it is working. It is working overtime. I just kept clicking, like I felt like a rat. I just kept bumping my, you know, trying to get my drugs really. And I'm just like, oh, I have to stop this. This is not healthy. I don't like it. I don't like feeling like I'm being manipulated. I don't like feeling like I'm tied or a slave to anything, but clearly I am past that. So, and not only that, like you think that we go for positive, we actually go for the negative too, to be enraged, to want to have the real or imaginary arguments with the other side of the screen with a stranger on the net. The things that we say in the comments, we would never say to a real stranger in real life, just off the bat. We would never say that to a real stranger because there's no real consequences that we're suffering online. Think about it. There are little to no consequences going online and saying whatever you feel like to a stranger that you will most likely never meet. And that's obviously become a problem because now it's shaping the world around us because we feel like we can say and do whatever we want to each other, not realizing the implications that somebody on the other screen is a human and they have feelings. You start to see that reflected in the culture. No one cares anymore. And we might feel that beauty and being creative and having inspiration is something that is small, but it is not. It is something that contributes to your everyday life. Having the beauty and our creativity slowly pulled away from us is going to lead to bigger issues. It's going to lead to groupthink, which is already starting because everybody wants to copy each other. But I thought I might make that quick little video. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Do all the things, share, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.